I'm Nathan. This is the At Odd Show. Please listen.
Forget what you learned in school. Never mind what your parents told you, and disregard what your friends say. From now on, the only people you need to listen to are these guys. For the next several minutes, they'll take you on a journey through the political jungle. And when your journey is over and you're safe at home, they promise you'll be stronger, smarter, and just plain better. So buckle up, hang on to your ears, because your journey starts now.
Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
Well, what can you do for your country, Brian?
I can try to stand up and defend the Constitution. I can try to educate people on their rights as citizens. I can let people know what it is to be a good American, work hard. Go ahead.
It was a rhetorical question.
Oh, sorry.
But thanks for that.
Oh, well.
Well, welcome to At Odds.
Now you know.
I'm Nate. And that's Brian over there.
I'm Brian, and we're your guides. We're going to take you on another little trip through the political jungle. Again, we're in the back room of the Lock and Load bar and studio in a large city in what country, Nate?
Venezuela.
Venezuela.
Good news.
Yes.
Good news. When we got our flight in, we landed yesterday.
Yep.
No toilet paper in the entire country.
Yeah.
They were out of toilet paper.
I always bring my own.
And you should, because places ran by dictators generally don't have good, markets and toilet papers.
I always keep a roll in the back of my pants, down low in the back of my pants.
Yeah, that's weird.
I get comments on that. But
nobody wanted to know that. But no, the good news is they passed a measure today. They spent like $90 million to get toilet paper in the country.
Where are they going to get it from? China.
I mean, it's good. It's going to be the cheap stuff. It's going to break after one use.
I was up north in God's country, and I was visiting with my mother.
That's way up there.
It's quite a ways. It's in Paradise, Michigan, and Paradise. Get it? It wasn't Paradise, but it was close. We have both Paradise and Hell in this state. You know that, don't you?
Yeah, and I prefer Hell, and I fit in there much better.
I think you've played your band there. Anyways, speaking of toilet paper, I've
driven my hearse there.
My mother is very cheap, and she buys cheap toilet paper. And I told her that I've seen fog thicker than this toilet paper, and just as effective. Anyways,
not only are there starving people in Ethiopia, children, there are toilet paperless people in Venezuela. Yeah. So you should not complain about the toilet paper that your mother buys.
Yeah, she thinks she's saving money, but I have to do
You should be thankful that this country is not ran by a dictator.
Oh, wait a minute. You couldn't go that far.
And I'm running low on toilet paper. Coincidence?
Maybe that's the best you can buy.
By the way, Brian, I'm running low on toilet paper, so go easy.
I use a half a roll just to get things done. So
all right.
She's not really saving any money. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff today, hopefully better than what we have been talking about. We're going to talk about Obama's terrorist speech, maybe about micro-stamping firearms. Actually, that was passed in a state. I can't believe it. The state of California. We're going to talk about student loans as a revenue for the Fed. You know, the government's finally making money with GM now and student loans on the backs of our children. We're going to talk about capitalism. Is it good or bad? And this particular capitalistic idea, whether we think it's a good one or not. We'll talk about draconian gun laws because we love that stuff and a lot more. Our guest tonight will be Robert Bertrand, who is the outreach director for the Armed Citizen Project. Now, if you don't know, that's the nonprofit organization in Texas that trains and gives shotguns to people that can't afford them for home protection. And so we're going to talk to him later in the show, so stay tuned. Remember, this is live in our new hour, Thursday, 8 o'clock. I think you're aware of that, Eastern Standard Time, unless you're listening out east or in Nova Scotia.
And then it's still 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time.
Isn't it? Doesn't it change?
Yeah, it doesn't change. Huh. No, it turns out.
They can call it 248-455-ODDS. That's 248, geez. I'm going to start again. 248-455-6337. Remember, they can like us where?
Yeah, facebook.com/@oddshow. Obviously, you're already on our website, @oddshow.com.
Yep.
You can email us, talk at @oddshow. Lots of ways to get a hold of us. I do want to mention...
I wanted to plug your show. Remember, you can listen to Nate's show, the Nathan Nephew Show, much better than this one because I'm not on it. And when can they listen to that? Anytime?
Anytime I happen to put it up. NathanNephew.com and on Red State Talk Radio.
You're very laid back. And buy our book, My Parents Open Carry, the only pro-gun kids book out there that talks about self-defense, open carry, concealed carry, and the right to self-defense.
Great conversation starter, yeah. We saw...
Remember, Christmas is coming, so...
All the devastation in Oklahoma. More Oklahoma got hit with tornadoes bad. I mean, it happens every so often, right? But... the good news is the number of tornadoes tornadoes like tomatoes.
that's a hybrid.
The number's been down due to global warming, right?
The number of tomatoes.
Tomatoes are down. But no, I just wanted to mention you can head to @oddshow.com. I have a link to Mercury One charity. You can click on that link, go to Mercury One. It's great. It's one of the very few, if not the only, charities I know of that 100% of the donations, there's no overhead taken off. 100% of the donations actually go to the cause. They have a fund set up just for the Midwest tornado relief.
Right, and I think they've raised about $1.5 million bucks so far.
But it's not enough. I mean,
no.
Tons
Especially
of lives affected.
What I'm going to mention next, and that's there was some buzz out there about Obama using FEMA money and national disaster money as a punishment to red states, and they were looking at certain natural disasters that had occurred in different red states or predominantly Republican states where they were denied funding, and all of the liberal blue states that got money right away.
Oh, absolutely. That's why when Hurricane Sandy hit New Jersey, that's why Chris Christie,
the new
turned into
Democratic vice president candidate.
Yeah, that's why he turned into a liberal, because he had previously had trouble getting money from Obama for relief and things like that.
So he had to do this.
And that was just to start.
And that was on his butt. And we've got the bar dog that
got
came
the
over
dog
and
all excited.
Started humping my leg.
I don't know. These Venezuelan chihuahuas, they kind of freak me out.
They're cute. Oh, he's a cute baby.
He is.
Yeah, he's a sweetie.
I don't know. He'll bite you.
Ow, son of a... God, what's that foamy stuff around his mouth?
Don't worry about that.
Oh, wow.
Don't worry about that. If we just had some toilet paper, we would be fine.
To die for want of toilet paper.
All right.
Usually you die of dysentery, but now I'm going to die of rabies.
And that's our show tonight. Thanks for listening.
Thank you. For those of you that are just eating dinner. Or supper, depending on where you're at.
Oh, boy. California, Brian. They've been trying to get these awesome laws that will make people safe, right?
Every one of them.
What they have tried to do for a while, and a guy invented this technology to microstamp guns and ammunition, so basically puts a serial number on the bullet, right? I mean, that's essentially what it does.
Some kind of identification mark.
So you can, when you get to a crime scene,
right, if there's
you can
spent casings.
If there's, is it on the,
it's got to be.
It's got to be. Well, it's
because
California.
usually,
no, look, it's California. I was not giving them the benefit of the doubt that they were smart
I know,
enough.
but the serial number is already on all firearms by law. So,
yeah, sure.
So it has to be the casing. Yeah, it's the idea is that when the casing is ejected from doing a hit, and you don't pick it up, then you're going to have some kind of identifying mark on it that says, Nate did it at 4:02, Eastern Standard Time.
Right.
And you can find him at 444 North Street,
Venezuela.
And that was the idea.
Well, the good thing is that we know 100% of all crimes with a firearm are committed by the registered owner of that firearm.
Not only that, but they're all committed by semi-automatic guns that actually eject, as opposed to revolvers, which don't eject.
And no criminal,
that's what it
law-abiding
says.
gun citizen has ever picked up the casings before they left a crime scene either.
No, and it's crap. What it does is it's a de facto gun control measure.
Well,
because
what happens to the price of ammo?
Well, it's not the ammo. These are the guns. It's going to require all semi-automatic handguns to be equipped with the technology that stamps it. So they're going to have to put it on the firing pin. That's going to hit, or I guess it could. I don't know what the technology is. It could be a little bit different, but it's going to somehow transfer some information to the casing from the gun itself. And the problem is, it's expensive to do, and most gun manufacturers are not going to do it. So those people are not going to be able to import guns into the state. Now, I didn't know this. I mean, apparently California only has 1,200 guns that are already state officially registered. I mean, there's got to be millions and millions and millions and millions of guns in California. So really what this is a de facto gun control where it's going to make it cost prohibitive for people to sell new semi-automatic guns into California. And that's really what it is. I think there's one country or one company that I think is close to it.
It applies to modified firearms too. I'm wondering how that works out. I mean, so if you make a change to your firearm, is it if you take it to a licensed gun dealer to have modifications, they have to put that in? I mean, that part kind of blew my mind when I read that. That is
only newer modified semi-automatic guns.
How do you enforce that stuff, and what is modified?
And how can you get around it? I suppose if a criminal wanted to file down or replace the firing pin or whatever the technology is, they could do that.
Oh, because there will still be firearms sold outside of California that
are brought in there.
This microstamping?
Right. Okay, here I'm looking at the article, and it says technology that microstamps a bullet casing. Oh, it is for a casing. Oh, yeah, but by the gun with a code identifying a gun's make, model, and serial number. That's a lot of little letters on a small little pin. That's like how many angels can you fit on the head of a pin or something?
Millions, I think.
I suppose.
You need a very large magnifying glass to read all those little letters.
So I don't know how you can enforce it. I think you can
like
get around
QR code or something. You just take a picture of it with your smartphone, and I don't know. It's ridiculous. It's California. I mean, what do you expect?
Well, and that's fine for people that live there. I'm not ever going to live there. But the problem is California's getting all excited because this is going to be a model for the nation. And other states now will be looking at it and enacting it.
And
and I'm going to guess which 3 or 4 states will immediately jump on the bandwagon.
New Jersey? They're gun-friendly, right?
Yeah.
New Jersey? I mean, we had the guy that was traveling through New Jersey.
Massachusetts, Connecticut.
Accidentally took a nap.
We'll get to that a little bit later in the show. I mean, I actually have some news on that. Well, no, that's actually next on our roster. I'm sorry. I just ruined your segue.
For once, I was trying to follow your very flaky script that you write.
I know.
Here.
I spend hours and hours putting together,
and I generally never follow it.
And you've never even opened it up and look at it.
And this time I did, and here we are talking about
it. Yeah. Apparently, a Texas man transporting a unloaded firearm through New Jersey. Well, actually, this one. I'm sorry. This is New Jersey.
That's what I said. Yeah,
he was going from Texas, moving to Maine. He's got all his guns. Well, wait a minute. This is different than what I.
Okay, basically, he was moving from Texas to Maine.
This is New Jersey. I have a story on New York.
Driving through New Jersey.
Right.
He had his guns unloaded in cases.
Yeah, and there was a case on the back seat, and a cop came up to see what was going on, saw the case, thought it was probable cause to ransack the guy's car, and actually he was in prison doing 3 to 5 years, and there was a Court of Appeals or something, and the court essentially saying that the plain view of a gun case is a basis for a warrantless search. That means every law-abiding gun owner in New Jersey is subject to a warrantless search if they transport their firearm in a gun case. This is his attorney talking.
That's absurd.
He says, my recommendation to all gun owners is to transport all firearms in guitar cases. If he had a firearms owner's ID card, which he can't get because he's not a resident, he wouldn't have been guilty of the offense. I mean, these were lawfully transported guns, and the federal government has a transport law. If you transport your firearms and you're passing through a state, then you can transport lawfully owned and possessed firearms without consequence. But he stopped and took a nap because he was tired, which is, crap.
Look, napping people with firearms unloaded in case, that's very dangerous to the citizens of New Jersey.
He would be more dangerous driving tired and not napping.
That's not true.
And
because
putting more risk.
Nobody dies from cars.
Especially people falling asleep.
Only firearms.
So, again, this is what we've talked about before. And Rand, what's her name?
Ayn Rand?
Ayn Rand.
Okay.
Always said, one of the principal ways to control people is to make normal law-abiding citizens into criminals by passing laws.
And that's what all gun control does.
Yeah, and that's what New Jersey's done with this.
Now, the attorney suggested carrying your guns in a guitar case.
Yeah.
I
saw a violin case that contained a semi-automatic, rifle kind of.
I've seen laws that require a case that was intended to hold firearms.
Mm-hmm.
I think a guitar case isn't, so that's tough. And I think that might be here in Michigan even.
It was in Michigan, but that's for, I think, a handgun.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Now, for long guns, you don't even need a case if it's in the trunk. That's state law.
Yep.
And or it can be by you if it's in a case or broken down. I often carry my hunting and shotguns and stuff in the back seat of my vehicle in a case, and that's lawful here in the state of Michigan, not in Venezuela.
Let's take a real quick break. We have a bunch more to talk about today, and hopefully we'll get representative from the Armed Citizens Project on later today, which will be great.
Yep.
And we can talk about that.
When we come back, we'll
see if there's anything coming to Michigan in that regard. That'd be great.
Right.
The voice of American conservatism. WRS Digital, Red State Talk Radio.
Fact. U.S. credit card debt is 8 times larger than it was 30 years ago. No wonder you and I are feeling the credit card crunch. You're not alone. Increasing prices and the costs of credit are stretching budgets and preventing people just like us from getting ahead or just catching up with our debts. At American Financial Debt Relief, we can help. We have tested ways to help you get out of debt. Find out how now. The call is free to learn more. If you qualify, we can reduce your interest, show you how to stop your debt from getting larger, and help you get out of debt faster than you can by making minimum payments. So if you're falling behind on your credit cards or medical bills, give us a call right now, where a free 5-minute call can change your life.
800-978-4815. 800-978-4815. Reduce your credit card debt. Call now. 800-978-4815. 800-978-4815.
Real radio for real Americans.
Red State Talk Radio.
Obama wants your money, and he's determined to get it. He wants your money to buy off unions, his Wall Street cronies, and to expand the Obama welfare nation. Well, Swiss America is determined to stop him from stealing your money. They want to send you an award-winning film, I Want Your Money, on DVD that exposes his plan. It'll help keep the government's hands off your money using gold, silver, and other hard asset strategies to protect your hard-earned money. Call today and request the DVD, I Want Your Money, normally $19.95, yours absolutely free. Let Swiss America show you how to use gold, silver, and other hard assets to protect your hard-earned money. Call now. 800-932-5146. 800-932-5146. Call Swiss America right now. Learn all about investing in gold. 800-932-5146. 800-932-5146. Call now.
And we're back. Hey, what I wanted to talk about a little bit was the New York gun law with Cuomo, whatever his name is.
Cuomo.
where he asked the sheriffs to come and talk to him in some kind of closed door session, or at least the leaders of the sheriffs in New York. You may recall we talked about how the sheriffs basically told him that they're not going to enforce the laws, at least those laws.
Yeah, because they were doing their
Safe
jobs.
Act. Yeah,
they were doing their jobs,
and they're enforcing they're defending the Constitution. Well, apparently they had a meeting and got a little. Yeah, I guess they said it was cordial. But he kind of basically said, you guys, you're entitled to your opinion, but I really wish you wouldn't say anything, and your job is just to enforce the law. And if you don't enforce the law, I'll remove you as per our state constitution.
Allegedly, yeah.
So apparently there's some kind of thingy in their constitution that can remove sheriffs. Now, I don't think Michigan and a lot of states don't have that because sheriffs tend to have a lot of power. They are an elected official. Let's see.
Yeah, it would be nuts if the governor could remove a sheriff. Somebody that was elected by the people.
Yeah, well,
and the governor can just say, you're out of here.
You mean like an emergency manager for the state of Michigan where they can remove the entire city council and the mayor and say, move over, we're going to negate all of the contracts and all the things that you guys did, being duly elected by the citizens of your state. Of your city.
That would never happen in a free country.
Yeah, well, it did in Michigan. It's going on now.
Well, yeah, but...
Anyways, to add to that, apparently there was a county clerk who said that he would not uphold the law and release concealed permit license holders' information. He says he would refuse to do it because, it didn't meet certain standards and all that, and Cuomo was kind of mad at him, so I don't know if he can, get rid of the county clerk as well. I guess just get rid of all the people that disagree with you. Good news is there was a guy. There was a guy who was Gregory Dean Jr. Got pulled over in New York, and he had a concealed pistol license. His gun was lawful. He was within the law, except that he had 9 bullets instead of 7 bullets in his magazine. And apparently
what a horrible person.
He got pulled over because his light was out on his license plate, one of those types of...
It's typical.
Thing. And, he was arrested in violation of the SAFE Act. And the great thing, and this is heads up to the DA in that county or that city or whatever, he says, I'm not prosecuting. I'm case dismissed. I'm not.
Yeah, that's great.
Do it.
That's great.
They're starting to fight back, and I think if more and more people did that, and more people in power that did that, especially elected officials like district attorneys often are, and county clerks and county sheriffs, I think we could get some of our freedoms back. Lots of people. There was a big gun rally in New York where they were telling people, don't comply with the law. It's risky, but just do it. We need people like this DA and the sheriffs and the county clerks to stand up with the people and say, screw you, Albany.
Yeah, I think you have to be careful. I mean,
certainly you take risks. I mean, that's what civil disobedience was all about. And
yeah, so I mean,
Henry David Thoreau wrote about that.
Not much of a stretch to turn that into 10,000 people marching on Washington, D.C. armed, right?
Yeah, except they arrested the leader and held him.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's a whole other story that I really don't want to get into, but that's my point. I mean, when you're talking to a large group, this rally in New York and tell them don't follow the laws, that's what I'm saying, is it's things like a group of 10,000 people carrying firearms who are not prepared, obviously, because there's only 10,000 of them, to actually do anything if the government shows any sort of force. There's a very fine line, is what I'm saying. This man carrying 9 bullets in his magazine is probably the example of the high end of civil disobedience that will do some good. And I think it has, because at least in that county, we know that prosecutor won't prosecute these ridiculous crimes.
Mm-hmm. And that's
the next county over. Who knows?
Who might?
You don't know.
And that sends a message to the police chiefs in that area too. That don't be bringing me these cases because I'm not going to prosecute them.
Next year, when there's a new prosecutor,
maybe
in office,
if they vote, vote him out.
You don't know.
Yeah.
Or Cuomo just removes them.
Or he just disappears with Jimmy Hoffa.
Dictator Cuomo. Yeah.
End up underneath the football field.
Jimmy Hoffa.
Anyways, there was a sheriff at this rally, and he says, I just want to tell you all, thank you, don't give up, keep using your voice, and I'm and I'm not. And I'm not about to enforce this act, he said. So
that's good. That's good. I mean, that is perfect. And there's definitely sheriffs, like we've shown over and over again, that are have that same mentality that
all over the
going
country
to enforce
all over the country. Colorado sheriffs came out and did
that
it.
Are unconstitutional.
Right. They did they're all over. And we have some sheriffs in the state of Michigan that would do the same thing if that were to happen here. I have a daughter in college, freshman, got through her freshman year, debt free.
Wow.
We worked hard, and she got scholarships, and we'd saved money, so she's got her first year under her belt. But that brings up the Obama student loan policy, reaping a $51 billion profit.
I mean, that's
interest
good.
rates on student loans are 6.8 to 7.9%. Now, I can buy a house for 3.5-4%.
Right.
Over 30 years. They're going to take 30 years to pay off their student loans.
Maybe.
I was looking at some
Probably
of the costs.
longer.
MIT is $220,000 for a 4-year degree. Michigan State's $160,000 or something. Ridiculous. Some of the largest. I mean, student loans now are just the college loans are more than probably an entire debt that these students' grandparents ever took on in their whole life.
Oh, absolutely.
And even more than me as a parent.
Taking inflation into account.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And the really bugaboo is you can't declare bankruptcy and, erase your student loans.
Debt. You sure
because
can.
the government wants their piece of flesh back. And you wonder why all of these politicians are saying, we want every kid to go to college. We're going to do everything we can to send every kid to college. That's their birthright, to go to college, go to college, go to college.
I don't agree
That's
with
like
that.
being a politician that says that owns a car dealership and says, we're going to make sure every person drives a car. I think there's a conflict of interest there.
I don't know that that's the case.
You don't think that's
No,
true?
I think a lot of the liberals that claim it's a right to education would just as soon make it free. I mean, that's the goal of a lot of politicians is free education.
Well,
you have a right to go to college.
I disagree with that because
I don't think that's true.
Because they want you to get student loans through the federal government so that they can make 8% interest. And I didn't have any debt when I went through college. I went to state universities through a master's degree, scholarships, and working, no debt. You, on the other hand, went to a private engineering college, very prestigious. I looked it up, by the way. Congratulations.
Thanks.
One of the best universities in the country, and one of the ones that had the best cost per earnings ratio. There was a list that came out.
Yeah.
And you want me to say the university?
No, I don't. I don't, because nobody can look it up and find out where I went to school. So it's a secret.
Really?
Yeah, it was in murder capital of
the country. Per capita.
And I didn't get murdered.
Flint, Michigan.
Yeah.
Kettering University. Anyways.
Formerly GMI.
Yeah. Very expensive.
Lots of debt.
Very expensive.
Lots of debt coming out of there.
And now I know why you don't buy beer when we go out and have a drink. I'm always buying you the beer.
I feel guilty because I should make that student loan payment.
But I know you're
so DHS doesn't show up at my house with a tank.
With their SWAT team, and they have one.
Absolutely.
All right. IRS? I don't know.
Yeah, we can get into it quick. We have just a couple minutes here before we need to take
just
a break.
2 minutes, actually.
Lois Lerner, she was the former head of... I don't know what you're pointing at. You're pointing at things, and I don't know why. Lois Lerner was the former head of the Federal Elections Commission. She... When she was head there was even controversy of her picking on Oliver North and
Christian groups.
Christian groups.
Oh,
yeah,
I
the
guess
Christian
she really
Coalition.
hatred for a lot of
asking
Christian
them what was in their prayers, and was Pat Robertson praying for you at the time that this happened? So then she moved to be the head of the commission that handles tax exempt groups.
And what did she
do?
And
what happened there? They started attacking and harassing conservative groups. What
is her political affiliation?
She's unknown. Democrat.
She's a Democrat. She donated to Obama's campaign.
She sure did. So she's harassing conservative groups, Tea Party groups, 9/12 groups, religious groups, Christian groups. And guess what she's doing now? She's now the head of the division that's running Obamacare. So that's excellent. That's excellent.
That'll be good.
That'll be very good. I mean, how could that go wrong?
I don't see any problems or conflicts or anything.
What was weird, though, is she went to a hearing, a congressional hearing, a committee hearing, gave a statement saying, I did nothing wrong. I did nothing wrong. Nothing I did was
innocent.
bad. I did nothing illegal. I'm innocent, but I'm not going to talk to you now.
And I invoked
the Fifth Amendment. Well, can you really do that?
Apparently not.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I thought you could invoke it at any time.
Not only did she give an opening statement, she answered a question and then invoked the Fifth Amendment.
I thought, I don't know. I'm hearing that you can't do that, but I don't know that they can compel you to. Don't you have a right to remain...
You can't make her talk, can you?
You have a right to remain silent, don't you? I guess that's after an arrest.
I would think so. The other thing to think about is this is not
a court of
a
law.
criminal trial.
Right.
But it sounds like she might be recalled since the committee is just in recess.
Well, I think they just want to do
adjourned.
it it's political posturing. I think they want to do it to embarrass her. And
They absolutely should have said, that's fine, you don't have to answer questions. We are going to ask all of our questions. Make her sit there for 3 hours and say, I'm not going to answer that.
Right.
That is what they should have done. Because
and that's what they've done
here's
other
the
times.
thing, and I posted this on Facebook.
Ooh.
She works for, so it's official.
Political
she
power.
works for us.
Mm-hmm.
If I did something, if something happened at work and my boss started questioning me about it and I refused to answer his questions, that would not go over well for me.
No,
I can't say Fifth Amendment. They say you're fired.
Yeah, that's different. I mean,
it is not different.
It
is not different.
Yeah,
it's the same thing. She works for the people.
Yeah, but
our representatives.
I'll tell you how it's different. Your boss is not representing any government. This congressional hearing is representing the government, and even if you're a federal employee,
you
that work for the people, so to speak, you are protected by the Constitution. You are not as an at-will employee of a private corporation.
I think you have that wrong because I think these representatives are not representatives of the government.
Well,
they're representatives of the people. They're sent there to represent us.
Yeah, but you're splitting hairs. That is the government. They create laws, they enforce laws, they inflict punishment.
Well, we are the government, right?
I know. What I'm saying is, and I'm right, and you just don't want to give up.
No, you're not right.
The private situation is a little different than in a government.
Of course, it's different, but the same thing.
You
holds
certainly have
that
you certainly have the right to not answer questions that your boss asks you.
Needs to
on the other hand,
to these things.
On the other hand, you can be fired for that,
and so could she. She won't be.
Well, I don't
She's,
know.
In fact, promoted.
Is she?
She was. We're going to take a break, though. Hopefully come back with the Armed Citizens Project.
Okay.
All right. We'll be right back.
Red State Talk Radio.
The idea of government taking over healthcare is enough to make you sick.
The conservative voice.
I will never forget the day my son Jeremy told me he hated me and slammed the door in my face. I'm behavioral therapist Janet Lehman. Behavior problems can turn the child you love and your life into a nightmare. That's why my husband James and I created the Total Transformation, the step-by-step program that shows you how to fix the worst behavior problems and get your child to respect and listen to you again. No matter what the behavior, defiance, backtalk, angry outbursts, disrespect, we can help you stop it. Now you can get the Total Transformation for free. All you need to do is get the program and let us know how it works for you. You can keep it forever for free.
Limited number of free programs available. Call now. 1-800-257-2873. 1-800-257-2873. 1-800-257-2873. That's 1-800-257-2873.
Great shot, Bob. I think you're on.
I just followed your lead.
Hey, by the way, did you break ground on your new building?
No way. I'm holding off until I see what the future holds.
So you're seeing a fortune teller?
You know what I mean. Things look a little uncertain.
The only thing certain in business is if you're not growing, you're losing. And we just opened our 5th facility last week. If you're following my lead, you'll call General Steel. Their pre-engineered steel buildings could save you as much as half the cost compared to conventional buildings. And they're up in nearly half the time, and back with a 50-year structural warranty.
Yeah, but steel buildings...
Hey, you've seen my building. Does it look like steel?
No, it looks great.
Ask about rebates that could save you up to $20,000. Look, you can stop paying rent and own a building that suits your business better and probably saves you money by operating more efficiently. In times like these, don't stop spending, just spend wisely.
800-398-8309, 800-398-8309, 800-398-8309, 800-398-8309.
Red State Talk Radio.
Why spend more than you have to on your life insurance? Did you know that term life insurance rates have fallen over 60% in the last 15 years? At the Life Insurance Quote Line, we monitor the rates, features, and financial strength of hundreds of life insurance products. For example, a healthy 40-year-old can protect his family with $500,000 of 10-year level term for less than $20 a month. Rates for women are even lower. And don't forget to ask us about the new term life policies that guarantee your money back even if you don't die. Since 1986, we've helped tens of thousands of people just like you save a fortune on their life insurance. Why not find out how much you can save? Write down this number and call today for your free quote. 1 5-minute call is all it takes. Call 800-610-3497. 800-610-3497. That's 800-610-3497. Rates, policy forms, and availability vary by state.
And we're back. And we do have Robert Bertrand on the phone. He's the outreach director for the Armed Citizen Project. He's been an activist for over 13 years. Robert joined the Navy in 2004 and became a hospital corpsman, just like my daddy. He served on the USNS Comfort from 2009 to 2012 as a biomedical electronic technician, and he responded to the Haiti earthquake, and he worked with a lot of people and injured people from the Haiti earthquake. So we'd love to welcome Robert to the show. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Our pleasure. Hey, you are obviously the outreach director for this Armed Citizen Project. Can you tell us a little bit about the concept and how it came about?
Well, Kyle Copeland came up with the idea about January, and it's a very simple idea. You give guns to people that need them. We find that a lot of people can't afford the weapons or the means to protect themselves, and that's what we try to help them. We give them the shotgun, but we also give them training, and we make them go through a background check before we continue with the program. But we're always looking for good candidates, and a lot of the people that we arm have been single women. What's so great about this program, though, is, I mean, you get to meet a lot of really genuine people, good American citizens, law-abiding citizens, and just having the opportunity to help them is a blessing.
Well, who thought of this? I mean, who came up with this idea? It's a great idea. Oh,
Kyle! I mean, the way he tells it, he woke up in the middle of the night in sweat just once he came up with the concept. I mean, it's a very straightforward concept, but nobody in the country's been doing it. So
it's simple and it's brilliant.
How do you determine who would be a good candidate for a firearm? You said that you have given it to a few single women.
What's your criteria? What's your screening process, I guess? And
well, first, we get into the area. We announce that we are interested in helping the area, and then they kind of come to us. They tell us their stories. Obviously, they have to pass a background check, and they have to not own any other firearms. Every once in a while we get somebody saying, "Hey, I'd like a free shotgun."
Right.
Sure. It'll go with my 9mm Glock. And so we just kind of have to tell them that we're a charity. We're not.
That's not the purpose of the program.
No, we offer the training to people who have never been around guns, people who just can't afford it. I mean, you got a lot of seniors out there too, who are living paycheck to paycheck because they're on Social Security
and vulnerable.
Oh yeah, and very vulnerable because the people who are most likely to become victims are single women and
seniors.
Yes.
Yeah.
How widespread is this? What cities?
Yeah, where
are
do
you
you
in?
guys start out at?
It started out in Houston. I'm actually in Maryland myself. I have never actually physically met Kyle. I got recruited over the internet, but he as soon as I found out about it, I was very impressed with the entire idea, and I just had to be a part of it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming you're a gun guy then, and believe in the Second Amendment and all that.
Well, it's funny. I mean, I've always been big on the Constitution, but the first time I ever became a gun owner was when my father passed away and I inherited his guns. I'm not really necessarily the most gun savvy person in the world, and but I believe in the Second Amendment. I understand why it's there. And I understand the importance of self-defense, especially in these neighborhoods, these high-crime neighborhoods, because a lot of people don't want to put themselves into these other people's shoes. If you're going to bed and you're hearing gunfire at night, it takes a lot off your mind when you know that you have the means to protect yourself, and I'm all for that.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, we're from Michigan, and we have a shell issue concealed license, concealed carry license program that went through in 2001, and I don't know. I feel better when I have a gun that's available. It's on me or within reach, and I can travel around the state or other states that recognize it, and it's kind of a peace of mind kind of situation. So I can only imagine, and I live in a good area, so I can only imagine someone who lives in a bad crime-ridden area that peace of mind does provide. All right. One of the things I wanted to ask was what is the training involved, and who provides that with your program? Who are your trainers? Do you have some kind of written program?
We have a lot of NRA gun trainers who volunteer and give it free training to our candidates. So it's basically your general safety / tactical course. We explain to them how to use a weapon. We show them how to use a weapon, and again, we've armed over 40 people so far.
Excellent.
And I'm just hoping that we can continue to expand and continue to train. But it's basically the same type of program that you would go through via the NRA.
All right, so it's kind of like the concealed carry basic firearm safety program.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, okay. And that's either donated by the trainers or funds are donated to you that pay for the instructions for these people to go through. What about, who pays for background checks and how do people apply to you to try to get a shotgun?
Well, first they can go to our website, armedcitizenproject.org, and just write to us and ask us to help you. And we get a lot of very sad stories, and we're always wishing that we could do more. But if we're in your area and we're starting up a program, it's definitely a good idea to just ask and see if we can help you out, and we'd love to.
What? So do you have like affiliates or branches springing up around the country?
Yes, we actually have a guy coming up in Detroit. Hopefully you'll be hearing about him soon. We have a guy in Baltimore,
who's
Tucson,
the guy?
Arizona.
Who's the guy in Detroit, can you say?
I not yet, but
okay.
It'll be you'll be the first to know.
Well, because I know, I think I probably know who it is,
Yeah.
and he's very, very prominent in the Detroit area, and his goal is to arm every law-abiding citizen in the city of Detroit. Does that ring a bell?
It sounds like it.
Yeah, if it's who you think it is, he was on our show.
What types of shotguns do you give out? I mean, do you have one standard model or whatever is available?
Initially, we were giving out like break action 20 gauge shotguns.
Okay.
Just for expense issues.
Yeah, you mean like a double barrel kind of a break?
No, a single shot.
20 gauge. Yeah. Okay.
And but now we've kind of moved on to pump action, and we kind of go all brands. And we do take donations as well. So if somebody has a gun that they'd like to donate to the project, we will take it.
What is it? Isn't it the H&R Protector or something Defender? It's a knockoff, China-made knockoff of the Remington 870, which is around $250 or so. That looked like a pretty decent shotgun.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
But as I said, I'm not the gun expert at all.
Okay, sure.
I'll, if they give me something that'll fire, I'll take it. You know?
Yeah. Okay. So people can actually contact you and donate you guns, which would be better than the, police buyback will give you a $50 gift card.
Absolutely.
Oh, the police buybacks that don't reduce crime whatsoever?
Right. We just had a big one in Detroit, and if it's the same person, he did a buyback there where he actually went and they bought 40 guns and saved them from being destroyed.
And people got harassed by the police.
Yeah,
that were trying
the
to buy
Wayne
guns.
County executive and the one of their commanding sheriff's guy was harassing people at this buyback where they were trying to save guns, and actually detained and apparently cited somebody for disorderly conduct or some crap.
Yeah,
because they can't do anything about them actually having a gun.
Yeah,
there's no law against it.
Right, and there's no law in Michigan about buying it from people. So that was kind of cool.
You said you take donations of guns. I'm sure you take monetary donations
Sure.
as well. And
We do.
People can do that through your website.
Yes, they can.
Okay.
And if you have a couple extra $1,000 just laying around, we'll take that.
And
We'll take
I
it off your
do.
hands.
I don't. Brian does. I'm sure.
I have
but
thousands.
Do you have any bigger sponsors? I mean, I can't imagine the NRA jumping on something like
No,
this
they
because that's
wouldn't do
just
that.
not how they are. But do you have any other groups that are jumping in with you?
No major organizations.
Are you-
We're kind of happy about that, but at the same time, we would love the extra money too.
Sure. But what about, you might, I'm sure you have, contact at least some of the ammo manufacturers. I know Hornady is pretty good about this kind of stuff. They're strong defenders of the Second Amendment, actually put donations out there, at least for ammo to supply, a box of buckshot or slugs
especially
or something.
right now.
Yeah. And it would be nice to get maybe a gun manufacturer that could, sponsor you and at least give you some nice shotguns that cost
Maybe a nice
or something.
3D printer.
Or a 3D printer. Then you can make a single shot gun.
Yeah, out of plastic.
Yeah, how can you say about how much you've been donated, or how well you guys doing?
I don't have a figure off the top of my head, but as I said before, we've armed over 40
individuals.
Yeah, so
is that
most of them single women.
And is that in the Houston, Texas area? I mean, is that in Texas?
Yes.
Or other states?
I mean, we're right in the middle of arming a neighborhood right now, our first neighborhood,
Wow.
and once it's done, I think that a lot of people will understand how serious we actually are about what we're doing. Because I mean, a lot of people, they mentioned it. We actually got mentioned on Red Eye, and we found out because I was watching a rerun. And I was, wait, are they talking about our group? And they were, and they didn't understand what we were doing exactly.
Have you reached out to Glenn Beck and some of those people? I mean, you think that
yes,
Glenn-
Kyle actually got to speak to him at the NRA convention.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah,
very good. I think we're going to be next year at the Indianapolis convention.
That's
try
the
to do
goal.
some stuff
It's a lot
there too.
closer than Houston for
Well,
us,
actually, Nate and I, the reason we contacted you and you came on the show is that Nate and I are interested in at least doing maybe one shotgun giveaway in the greater Lansing area in Michigan, which is the state capital, and we do have some crime in this area.
Well, we would love to help you guys out, and especially if you can find somebody who really needs it. That's our major goal. Helping the people who are at risk.
Well, that's that's where we want your guidance too. What you do to reach out. How do you reach out? What kind of screening criteria do you use? Because we're going to get lots of people that are going to probably want a shotgun, and how do we go through? And so we'll work with you behind the scenes on that. But
definitely.
we'd love to at least try to give one shotgun away at least, and if it catches on, maybe more, and maybe even do some kind of. We could maybe work with your Detroit connection.
Definitely. But we
well.
would love to work with you, and we'd love to help you out as much as we can.
How has your reception been by law enforcement and anti-gun groups? I'm sure you're getting a lot of love and hugs and kisses.
Unofficial love.
Unofficial love. Explain that.
Well, obviously it's a very political thing being a police officer right now. they can't make official statements. It's just like in the military, you can't officially,
Right.
Be an advocate for something. And but the vast majority of cops believe in self-defense anyway. They understand that the 911 response times are the average for the entire country is like 10 or 11 minutes. And if you have somebody in your house, do you have minutes when seconds matter?
No.
And then, of course, in a place like Detroit, I think it's like 25 minutes.
No,
55.
it's 24 hours.
Oh, okay, that's right.
I mean, unless they're shot fired, we're not kidding you. They've actually come out and said that if you get robbed, it's going to be a day or two before a police officer comes there.
What about sexually assaulted or?
Then it's going to be a half an hour, 45 minutes at least.
That's just unacceptable. And the idea that those same people who are failing you would have a problem with you defending yourself, just it makes my blood boil.
Yeah, well, the cop on the beat usually doesn't.
No.
It's their bosses and the political people that are the mayors and the executive officers and stuff. They're the ones that are toting the anti-gun. We got to keep guns off the street stuff. But
how paranoid is that, though? Because what they're saying is law-abiding citizens cannot be trusted with a shotgun.
Yeah.
So what do you think? They're just going to suddenly go out there and completely go crazy just because they got a free gun?
Right.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I mean, but look at what happened to that poor Milwaukee County sheriff who came out and said that we can't be there, and the best thing you can do is get a gun and train, and they about crucified him.
He was demonized.
He's not alone, though. There's a guy from San Bernardino, sheriff over there, said the same thing. They're saying it all over the country right now. I just read something about, I think it was in Oregon. They were basically telling you, move, because we can't help you. We don't have enough resources to help you, which is political in itself. Because why are you going to defund the police police department first? Why?
Well, and they use it as an excuse to get more money too, like that woman that was raped and murdered, who called in and they said, "Sorry, we don't have any funding," and then the powers to be come out there and say, "See, this is going to happen all the time if you don't give us more money and more officers."
Extortion.
So it's a manipulative device as well. Extortion's a good word, exactly.
And that's why we like to empower people into being able to take personal responsibility for their own safety.
Yeah,
we want people to be their own first responders.
Yep, we've just got a couple minutes left here. What are the long-term goals for the organization? You said you're in the middle of arming a neighborhood. Do you have a goal of arming the entire country, high crime areas?
State by state, Nate. Come on. Give him a break.
Well, I mean,
it's
tomorrow.
five months.
Tomorrow. How many people are going to be armed tomorrow?
I love that goal. I want to arm
everybody.
At least several neighborhoods in every major city across the country. That's what I want to do, and not just a major city. Because there's people in small towns who are just as
vulnerable,
as afraid as somebody who lives in downtown Detroit or New York City or Chicago.
Yeah.
I say keep the goal high. Set the bar as high as it can go, and then try to leap over it.
Like our friend Rick Ector in Detroit, who wants to arm every person in the city of Detroit that can lawfully own a firearm.
It's
imagine what the crime rate would be then.
Yeah, it would be great. One more time, give us your website, how people can reach out to you, either to help or if they're in need of help, a firearm or some training or something. And what's that website again?
It is armedcitizenproject.org. They can also follow us on Twitter at armedcznproject. In fact, tomorrow we're doing a major Twitter invasion
campaign.
We're going to use the hashtag ACP.
Okay.
And we're going to try to make a trend. We're going to be talking about self-defense and what we're doing, and kind of highlighting again the need to help those who can't help themselves.
Do you have a Facebook page?
We do. If you just search Armed Citizens Project.
Have people like that, and that'll keep them apprised, too, of what's going on with your group.
Definitely.
And then you can, I'm sure you post, pictures and success stories and all that good stuff on there as well.
And we're constantly doing that on our website as well.
All right, well, very good, Robert. We want to thank you for being on the show, and thank you for what you're doing. I mean, this is
it's cool.
A big
it's really cool
part of what Brian and I have been,
and it's
advocating.
It's
for
thinking
years.
outside the box, so it's a great concept.
It's a free market response to a social problem,
Yep.
and we're not using the government to do it.
Yeah, it's funny how private charity can get things
Well, that's
done.
what I can't understand, where people say, "Oh, the police will take care of me. I don't have to worry about anything." What color is the sky in their world that they believe that?
Well, unless the police are going to give them a free shotgun.
Yeah, and that's not going to happen.
And they won't.
No. Hey, thanks a lot. We really appreciate it. Keep up the good work, and lots of success to you and your group.
Thank you, guys.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye.
Very good. Great group. I
Hey,
hope we can
cool
work with
guy,
them in the
and-
Lansing area, or
I-
maybe even Detroit with.
Even if we give
probably
one.
not Rick Hector.
One. Start with one. You know, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. And
Well, I mean, I'll confess a little bit. You and I had talked about this
Yes, we did.
before we found this group.
we wanted to do something ourselves.
And we found them and we thought,
why reinvent it?
Yeah, why reinvent it?
Let's work with them. And the goal is the same.
Yeah, it's not. It's not for anything other than doing the right thing.
Right.
So, if you can help them out, armedcitizenproject.org, I believe that would be great.
Make a donation. Tell your friends and family about it. Do some fundraisers for them. You know, that'd be a great cookout or picnics or something, and take a collection. Everybody, bring a dish to pass and donate $5 into a hat. Take that money and send it to their organization and buy one shotgun.
It's a great idea.
Yep.
If you're on the other side of things and could use
and you're
some
a criminal,
help,
rob a liquor store and then take some of that money from the liquor store robbery and send it. No.
Hey, I don't care how you make your money. Just donate it to a worthwhile cause. Armed Citizens Project or Mercury One, which you can get to from our website.
Right.
But if you need help, if you are in a high crime area, can't afford a firearm for self-defense for yourself
Right.
and your family, send us an email, talkit@oddshow.com. Contact the Armed Citizens Project, whatever you need to do, and we'll try to help you out if we can.
Yeah.
But that's all the time we have today. Next week, Thursday at 8 p.m. also, and don't forget about the rebroadcast on Red State Talk Radio.
I have no idea what guests we may or may not have. You might have to listen to us for an hour, so God help us all.
Yeah, that would be terrible. But all right, well, see you next week.
All right, bye-bye.